Hello, friends. Welcome back. It is day 6 of 7 days of Christmas. I'm so excited about continuing this series with you. We're now on verse 12 of 1 Corinthians 13. So let's jump right in. Verse 12 says, "Now we see but a dim reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in parts. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known." This is a really cool text, and there are several promises embedded in here, but I want to just focus on a couple things. When the Apostle Paul talks about us seeing a dim reflection, the original word that he used, because this was written in the Greek, is aenigma, and aenigma literally means a riddle. So Paul is saying right now we have kind of like an obscure understanding of love, an obscure understanding of who God is. We know a little bit, but we don't know everything. And the promise embedded here is that one day we will fully understand. One day we will fully know. And he says, we shall see face to face. And now we know in part, but then we shall know fully, even as we are fully known. What this is telling us is that God knows us fully, but we don't fully know God. And who God is love. He embodies what love is. This text is also pointing to an event that happened in the past, and it's based on Numbers 12, verses 6 to 8. This is a situation where Moses' authority and his leadership was being questioned by other leaders in Israel, namely his sister Miriam and his brother Aaron. And God said to them, "Now listen to what I say. If there were prophets among you, I, the Lord, would reveal myself in visions. I would speak to them in dreams, but not with my servant Moses. Of all my house, he's the one I trust. I speak to him face to face, clearly and not in riddles. He sees the Lord as he is." Moses is actually one of my favorite Bible characters, not just because he was the leader of Israel, which, there are many lessons that we can take from his life, but primarily because his relationship with God gives us a glimpse of what God wants to do with us, the kind of relationship that God wants to have with us. And the reason why Moses is favored by God in this way is not because Moses is unique. Moses is not the only one that had this type of relationship with God. Moses enjoyed this kind of relationship with God because he sought for this relationship with God. He asked God to be able to see him face to face. And God did that for him. He spoke to him not through these obscure fashions like dreams or visions. He came down and would visit with Moses on the mountain face to face. And so God is telling us through this text that you and I can enjoy that kind of relationship with him. The interesting thing about this, though, is that the requirement for us being able to fully know God is not to wait until God comes back and takes us to live with him in the earth made in heaven and the earth made new. The thing to do is to begin to know God fully right now. And so what that tells us is that our opportunity to continue knowing God fully is contingent upon the extent to which we allow him to personally and intimately know us right now. I want to tell you something. Another promise that's embedded in this text is that God is someone who is deeply interested in you and I. There are several scriptures in the Bible that talk about God knowing us intimately. A couple of them are Jeremiah 1 verse 5, which says, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you." Galatians 1 verse 15, which says, "But God, who set me apart from my mother's womb and called me by his grace, was pleased." Psalm 139 verse 15, "My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in secret, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth." This is a God who knows you deeply, who knows everything about you. But he doesn't just want to know you. He wants you to allow him to get to be intimate with you. And I actually think that this fulfills the deepest longing that most of us have as human beings. We all want to be known and fully appreciated for who we are. We want to know that we are intimately and deeply appreciated, that people know who we are and love us and want what's good for us. And I'm telling you, friends, that the only person who can do that, really, really, really do that, is God. And once we allow him to intimately and personally get to know us, we in turn begin to get to know him. And the great thing about it is that knowing doesn't end. We actually get to experience him over and over and fall more deeply in love with him. So what do you say? Are you going to open up and give God the opportunity to get to know you intimately right now?